Monaco, a tiny strip of land glowing like a diamond on the Riviera. Here, every engine roar, every supercar door lifting upward, and every flash of a camera can signal the arrival of someone extraordinary. And today, you're about to witness the most stunning ladies' arrivals in Monaco. Moments so elegant, so powerful, that they stopped crowds, turned heads, and defined the true billionaire lifestyle. These aren't ordinary influencers or models. These are women whose presence alone can shift the entire atmosphere of Casino Square, Port Hercule, or the iconic Monte Carlo streets. What separates Monaco from the rest of the world is simple. Beauty is just the entry ticket. The real magnet lies in confidence, mystery, and the quiet power behind each step they take. These women don't appear often, but when they do, the city seems to pause for a heartbeat. And among all the arrivals captured on camera, there is one rare moment, a mysterious entrance seen by only a handful of people. And yes, we'll reveal that exclusive story at the end of this video. Before we begin, make sure to hit like, subscribe to Inside the Billionaires, and turn on notifications so you never miss a journey into the most luxurious corners of the world. In Monaco, the most breathtaking entrances don't happen under the Riviera sun. They happen long after the world falls asleep. When the streets empty, the super yachts dim their lights, and only the soft glow of the harbor remains, a hidden rhythm begins. This is the hour reserved for women whose presence carries more influence than any headline or red carpet appearance. It often starts with a soft engine hum in the distance, so controlled it barely disturbs the stillness. A long wheelbase Maybach or a bespoke Rolls-Royce glides through Monte Carlo's quiet roads, moving with a precision that feels almost rehearsed. There are no crowds, no reporters, no flashing lights, only a handful of people who understand that in Monaco, a quiet arrival is the highest form of confidence. When the door opens, the air seems to pause. A woman steps out, illuminated by nothing more than the gentle reflection of streetlights on the polished stone of Casino Square. Her style is understated yet unmistakably refined. Muted colors, flowing silhouettes, subtle jewelry chosen for meaning, not for show. These are not women who chase attention. These are women who naturally draw it. What makes these midnight entrances unforgettable is intention. Every detail, the timing, the route, even the speed of each step is orchestrated with purpose. The driver never rushes. The companion behind her always keeps a precise distance. Even her footsteps echo with a quiet authority that turns an empty street into a stage. For those fortunate enough to witness it, the scene feels almost cinematic, elegant, intimate, and magnetic. She isn't performing, she's simply returning to a world where power moves in silence, not spectacle. But the most intriguing part isn't the entrance itself. It's what no one ever sees after she disappears into the night. Some say the real story begins the moment her silhouette fades from the glow of the streetlights. And what happened one particular night left even Monaco's most discreet insiders whispering for weeks. If there is one scene that defines Monaco's silent luxury more than anything else, it is the rare moment when a woman steps off a multi-million-dollar yacht and straight into a supercar waiting on the dock. It's a transition so smooth, so perfectly choreographed, that it feels almost unreal, like watching a secret ritual performed by the elite. It usually begins with the soft sound of a tender boat approaching the marina. The water barely ripples, and the crew moves with precision born from years of practice. Then, she appears at the yacht's staircase, poised, composed, and illuminated by the soft glow of lights reflecting off the sea. Her arrival is never rushed. Every step is deliberate, as though the moment itself belongs to her. Waiting at the dock is a scene only Monaco can offer. A driver standing beside a customized Ferrari SF90, a satin black Lamborghini Aventador, or a one-of-a-kind G-Wagon tuned for the Riviera's narrow hills. These vehicles aren't props. Many belong to the women themselves, symbols of independence in a world where luxury is often mistaken for excess. What makes these transfers unforgettable is the contrast. The calm of the ocean behind her and the raw power of a supercar in front of her. The shift from water to asphalt mirrors the duality of Monaco's elite lifestyle, serenity and adrenaline, elegance and dominance, all existing in the same breath. The moment she steps into the car, Photographers often catch only a silhouette. Wind brushed through her hair, a subtle turn of her wrist, the gentle close of a carbon fiber door. Nothing loud, nothing exaggerated, just the kind of elegance that speaks louder than any red carpet. But occasionally, something breaks the perfect choreography. A sudden shift in timing, a different vehicle waiting at the dock, or an unexpected face greeting her beside the car. And one particular transfer, captured accidentally by a tourist's camera, revealed a detail so unusual that people still wonder whether it was planned, or whether something far more significant was happening that night. There's a reason people say Casino Square isn't just a landmark, it's Monaco's unofficial runway. Nowhere else on Earth do arrivals feel so spontaneous, yet so impossibly cinematic. It's the only place where a simple step out of a supercar can look like the opening scene of a high-fashion film. The spectacle usually begins without warning. A satin-finished Lamborghini slips into the square, its engine humming softly as it settles beside the iconic fountain. A moment later, another car appears, a matte grey Ferrari or a pearl-white McLaren, forming a quiet line of elegance. And then, the real show starts. A woman steps out, not with the calculated precision of a red carpet, but with the effortless grace of someone who doesn't need a stage to shine. Her heels touch the ground. She lifts her chin slightly. The evening breeze carries just enough movement through her hair to look perfectly unplanned. Monaco doesn't demand an entrance. It brings out one naturally. What makes these moments feel like a runway isn't the luxury of the surroundings, but the rhythm the women create. They don't hurry, they don't strike poses. They simply walk toward Café de Paris or the steps of the casino with a level of confidence so subtle it becomes magnetic. The entire square seems to shift its attention toward them, as if time briefly slows to accommodate their presence. Onlookers often try to guess who they are: heiresses, CEOs, models, or women with a different kind of influence entirely. But at Casino Square, identity matters far less than presence. And the women who command this place know exactly how to use stillness, posture, and silence as their own form of power. But every so often, something disrupts the harmony. An arrival too perfect, too synchronized, or too coordinated to be just coincidence. And one particular woman's entrance, captured only by a single security camera, became a quiet mystery whispered among the staff working there. A moment that suggested the runway of Casino Square might hold more secrets than anyone realized. If Monaco has a throne in the sky, it sits on the rooftop helipads overlooking the Riviera. This is where the most exclusive arrivals happen, moments that most people will never witness because they take place far above the noise, the crowds, and the flashing cameras below. When a helicopter begins its slow descent, slicing through the warm Mediterranean air, it signals that someone truly important is on board. The scene is nothing like the arrivals by car or yacht. There is no roar of an engine, no echo of footsteps on polished stone. Instead, there is the deep, steady hum of rotor blades and a rush of wind that sends the nearby palm trees swaying as if bowing in acknowledgement. A small team waits on the landing pad, pilots, assistants, and a pair of discreet security staff whose movements are almost choreographed. And then she steps out. Her dress moves with the wind, not against it. The golden light from the sunset turns her silhouette into something nearly unreal, a blend of elegance and command. Her sunglasses stay on, not for style, but because up here, the sun meets her at eye level. Everything about her presence says one thing: she is used to altitude, both literal and symbolic. Unlike ground arrivals, helipad entrances aren't meant to be glamorous. They are meant to be efficient, private, and precise. Yet somehow they become unforgettable. The helicopter door slides open, her heel touches the pad, and the city far below continues unaware that someone who can shift meetings, markets, or entire social circles has just landed. Most of the time, these moments pass in silence. A short walk across the rooftop, a quick exchange with a waiting driver, a smooth transition into a vehicle that immediately disappears down a private ramp. But once in a while, something unusual happens. A second helicopter landing moments later, a delayed departure, or a new face stepping out beside her. And there was one particular evening when the wind carried more than just the sound of rotor blades. It carried a question that no one on the rooftop has been able to forget since. Before the world-famous Monaco Grand Prix fills the streets with roaring engines and flashing cameras, something else takes place quietly. An unofficial parade that only locals, insiders, and the luckiest visitors ever notice. It happens weeks before the race, when the barriers aren't installed yet and the track is still open to everyday traffic. But the cars that appear during this time are anything but ordinary. This is when Monaco's most influential women reveal their taste in machines. Not at public events, but during their private arrivals. A rare Bugatti Mistral gliding along the waterfront. A Pagani Utopia in a custom two-tone finish turning into Casino Square. A Lamborghini Centenario Roadster slipping through the narrow streets of La Condamine with the elegance of a moving sculpture. These aren't borrowed cars. They usually belong to the women themselves, each vehicle reflecting a different personality, a different kind of power. What makes these moments special isn't the brand of the supercar, but the calm confidence behind the wheel. These women drive not to impress, but because driving is part of who they are. The sound of the engine becomes a quiet signature, not loud, not aggressive, but unmistakably refined. Even among Monaco's endless lineup of supercars, you can tell instantly when a vehicle is being driven by someone who truly understands its capability. The subtle choreography of their arrivals is mesmerizing. A Centenario rolls to a perfect stop in front of a hotel entrance. The scissor door lifts. She steps out with a poise that makes everything else in the frame feel secondary. People don't cheer, they don't shout, they simply stare, knowing they've just witnessed something that can't be staged. But every so often, something interrupts the quiet flow of this unofficial parade. A car too rare to be here, a sound too unfamiliar, or a presence behind the wheel that doesn't match the usual rhythm of Monaco's elite. And one particular morning, a supercar appeared on the future Grand Prix track with no emblem, no plate, and a woman whose identity no one could confirm. Yet everyone who saw it felt that her arrival meant something more than just a drive through the city. In Monaco, luxury isn't measured by the brand you wear, it's measured by the rarity of what you carry. And no arrival captures this better than the moments when women step out of their cars wearing high jewelry pieces so unique they rarely appear even in private auctions. These entrances are quiet, elegant, and often last no more than a few seconds. Yet they leave an impression that lingers long after the moment passes. It usually happens in front of the Hotel de Paris or the private entrances along the Golden Circle. A Maybach or Bentley pulls up with its lights dimmed. The door opens softly. Then she emerges, not in a gown designed for attention, but in an outfit intentionally simple, almost minimalist, so that one thing becomes impossible to ignore: the jewelry. Sometimes it's a necklace crafted from rare Colombian emeralds, glowing under the warm Riviera lights. Other times, it's a diamond choker cut in a shape so precise that gemologists could identify its maker without seeing any signature. These pieces aren't chosen for glamour, they're chosen for what they represent: heritage, influence, and discreet power. Behind these arrivals is an entire unseen system. Armored vehicles deliver the jewelry hours before, escorted by private security teams who blend into Monaco's evening crowds. A dedicated jeweler or curator waits nearby, ready to make last-minute adjustments. Nothing is accidental, everything is prepared with the rigor of a royal ceremony. Onlookers rarely notice the jewelry at first. They notice the silence, the calm, confident presence of someone who knows exactly what she carries. And when the light hits just right, revealing the gemstone's fire, there's a moment of collective stillness. Even those who don't understand its value can sense its significance. But occasionally, something unexpected appears in these rare entrances. A piece no one has ever seen before, one not listed in any catalog or auction record. And one night, a woman arrived wearing a jewel so unusual that even Monaco's top collectors exchanged uncertain glances, wondering whether it was a private commission or something with a story too delicate to ever be told in public. Every woman who arrives in Monaco's elite circle has her own rhythm, her own aura, her own way of commanding attention without effort. But there is one detail that often goes unnoticed unless you observe closely: the presence of a man who walks several steps behind her, never too close, never too far. He isn't a bodyguard and he isn't a partner. In Monaco, he is known as the Silent Shadow. The scene looks subtle at first. A woman steps out of a supercar, poised and calm. She walks toward the entrance of a private club or a waterfront restaurant, her stride confident and unhurried. And somewhere behind her, always maintaining a precise distance, is the shadow. He does not speak. He does not interact. He doesn't even look directly at her, yet his presence is unmistakable. Unlike security teams who move with practiced alertness, the silent shadow moves with quiet intention. He carries no visible equipment, no communication device, nothing that signals a defined role. But insiders understand his purpose. He is the guardian of information, the keeper of documents, the person entrusted with managing what truly matters: assets, contracts, negotiations, and the private details that shape a billionaire's world. You see him only in 3 moments: when she arrives, when she leaves, and when something important is about to take place. Some say he works for financial firms. Others whisper that he serves families with global influence. But regardless of his origin, one thing is certain. When the silent shadow appears, the occasion is never casual. What makes his presence fascinating isn't what he does, but what he doesn't do. He never interferes, he never rushes. His job is not protection, it's precision. And because of that, his silence often speaks louder than any introduction. But one evening, the pattern broke. The silent shadow stepped closer than usual, just by a few steps, yet close enough for the staff at a Monte Carlo restaurant to notice. Something in the air shifted. Conversations quieted. And although no one understood what was about to unfold, everyone sensed that his subtle misstep wasn't accidental, and that the woman he followed was walking into a moment far more significant than a simple arrival. Some arrivals in Monaco are beautiful, some are elegant, but a few, a very rare few, carry a presence so commanding that the entire atmosphere shifts the moment they happen. These are what insiders call power entrances, moments when a woman's arrival doesn't just draw attention, it quietly rearranges the hierarchy of the room. It starts long before she even appears. Staff at the venue begin adjusting their posture without realizing it. Conversations soften. The rhythm of the evening slows, as if the city itself knows someone significant is approaching. There is no announcement, no entourage, no loud display. Power in Monaco never needs to announce itself. It simply arrives. Then comes the entrance. She steps out of her vehicle with a calmness that feels almost deliberate. No quick movements, no hurried gestures. Every action is controlled, measured, and grounded. Her outfit is understated but flawless, chosen for precision rather than spectacle. And the way she walks, steady, balanced, almost silent, tells you she's someone whose influence extends far beyond the camera lenses around her. People react in unspoken ways. Servers straighten their jackets. Guests shift their attention. Even those who don't recognize her feel the subtle force she brings into the space. True power is rarely loud. It's felt, not displayed. And in Monaco, the women who master that silent force are the ones who truly shape the city's elite circle. But what makes power entrances truly unforgettable is what follows. After she walks inside, doors that were previously closed begin to open. A reserved room is suddenly cleared. A private elevator is activated. A meeting that wasn't on any schedule quietly takes place somewhere behind glass walls. Most nights, these entrances pass without leaving a trace. No photos, no videos, just the memory of those who witnessed it. But one particular evening changed that pattern. A woman arrived whose presence was so striking, so unmistakably influential, that even the most composed insiders paused. There was something unusual about her entrance. Not dramatic, not loud, but meaningful in a way no one could fully explain. And the whispers that followed lasted far longer than the night itself. In Monaco, arrivals aren't just moments, they're a language. A silent expression of confidence, mystery, elegance, and influence. Whether it's the midnight entrance that stops the harbor, the yacht-to-supercar transition, the helipad descent, or a power walk through Casino Square, each appearance reveals something deeper about the women who define this city. They don't need crowds. They don't need noise. Their presence alone reshapes the atmosphere around them. And that's what makes Monaco different from anywhere else in the world. Here, True power doesn't shout. It moves quietly, gliding through the night with intention. The women you've seen in this video aren't just style icons. They are symbols of a world where elegance becomes strength, and every step carries a story that only a few will ever understand. If you enjoyed this journey into Monaco's most captivating arrivals, make sure to hit like, subscribe to Inside the Billionaires, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter of this luxurious world. And remember, behind every arrival, there's always a secret, a connection, a reason, a moment that changed something. In the next video, we'll uncover one arrival so rare, so unexpected, it made even Monaco's insiders question everything they thought they knew.